Hey, B, it's Jamithatsme here. Welcome back to my channel. Now let's have a quick chat. Congratulations are in order for Dr. Heavenly of Married to Medicine. Dr. Heavenly, not only is she a dentist, but she is now a store owner of a beauty supply store called Heavenly Beauty Atlanta. And I'm so here for it. Let me tell you something, Miss Toya, you may want to take a page out of Heavenly's book because Heavenly is over there creating multiple streams of income. Meanwhile, you're over there spending up Eugene's income. But I think that, girl, you may want to get you a hair store, get you a boutique or something like that. And, you know, maybe you can get over here like Heavenly on the Heavenly train. But congratulations to Heavenly. I think that's really, really dope. I do remember watching her live where she said that she was working on getting her hair store up and running. But it was interesting because I thought she was just like in the idea phase. But turns out, no, she was much further along than what I thought. And here it is, her store is opening now here in Atlanta. So I think that's completely awesome. Congratulations to Heavenly. And girl, keep doing your thing, honey. I can't be mad at that. Let's go ahead and move on. Let's talk about Shamea Morton. Shamea Morton sat down with the Jasmine brand, had an interview with them, talking about a few things about her life as well as Real Housewives of Atlanta. One of the questions that came up was about her being a peach holder and, you know, not being offered a peach or whatever. Shamea says, no, honey, y'all will not be doing me like you guys do Marlo. Marlo was never offered a peach. When it comes to me, I was offered plenty of peaches. However, I was unable to take those peaches because my husband, although he respects and loves what it is that I want to do and what I'm trying to do over here with Real Housewives of Atlanta, he wants to have absolutely nothing to do with it. So I can't be on the show and expose my entire life if my husband doesn't want to be a part of that. And you know, family is first for me, so I respect that part of my husband. If he doesn't want to do it, cool. I'm okay with being just a friend of the show. And I still get to hang out with the girls, kiki with the girls, and enjoy them, travel with them all at the same time and still get the same amount of attention as they may get while being on this show. So I am completely okay with that. But if my husband doesn't want to do it, I'm not going to try and force him or create an issue. I'm going to respect that and be okay with the position that I do have on the show. So that's what Shamea was letting us know. And I find that very interesting because I didn't even know that. I'm sure I was one of the people that was like, girl, you want to have a peach? It's so bad. And kind of find out she has been offered plenty of them. She just was unable to take them. So she's fine with the position that she has on the show after Candy helped get her on the show. So she's okay with it, and we have to be okay with it as well. So if she likes being on the show and she's okay being a ride or die for Portia, then hey, it is what it is, girl. So congratulations and good luck to Miss Shamea, honey. Let's move on. Let's talk about Eboni K. Williams. She's actually an attorney. She's a black woman. I've seen her a few times on The Breakfast Club. Well, it looks like she's gonna be a newbie on the Real Housewives of New York franchise. She had the chance to sit down with Wendy Williams, and she talked about the fact that she was previously engaged. Last time she was on Wendy Williams last year, she was planning her wedding. She was getting everything together. She made deposits, all of that good stuff, right? Because she was about to get ready to get married. Well, the pandemic hit, the virus hit, and unfortunately, during the time that everyone had to quarantine, she and her fiance broke up. This is what she had to say.
So, are you still with your boyfriend?
No, so when I was here for Hot Topics, I actually had a ring on. I was engaged to be married. I started 2020 planning a wedding. I mean, deposits to vendors, videographer, wedding planner.
You guys were the last panel that I had before we went on.
COVID.
It was you, Steve Wilkos.
Yes.
And I forgot who else.
But she was sweet.
And then the next day we found out we're done.
Yeah, it's crazy.
We all have to go home.
So I was planning a wedding and a marriage, more importantly. And you know what? This quarantine, I think, like a lot of couples, Wendy, it made us tell the truth about our relationship.
How long were you with him before quarantine?
Almost 4 years. So
you never spent that amount of, did you live with him at the time of quarantine?
I'll tell you what happened. He actually did not quarantine with me. He has 3 children, 2 of which are young adults, and he chose to quarantine in New Jersey with. And for me, listen, I'm not a parent yet, so I get that they're number one.
Right.
But I need to be number one, Wendy. And I wasn't number one, so I needed to move on.
As you all can see, Eboni decided to break up with her fiance because he chose to quarantine with his semi-adult children. I want to believe they're probably between the ages of 17 and 21 or something like that. He chose to quarantine with them instead of quarantining with her. So she felt like, okay, if you want to do it like that, I understand your kids are supposed to be number one. I'm supposed to be number one. on as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and do away with this relationship. So when I saw that, that definitely raised the eyebrow for me, because I'm like, but these are his kids. And in my opinion, I kind of feel like kids that are like 17, 18, around that range, up until like 25, I feel like they still children, in my opinion. Especially if you still in college, you still depending on your parents. You probably going off to grad school and stuff. You probably haven't really lived on your own just yet and taking care of bills. You may still be a student in the dorm, who knows? So I'm just like, I don't know. I don't see anything wrong with this man wanting to quarantine with his children. For me, it makes me think, if you feel as though he put his kids first during the midst of an actual pandemic, and he wasn't with you, then it makes me wonder, what is your relationship with the kids that you could not quarantine with them? And also it makes me wonder, how often has this man not put you number one, that this happened to be the one thing that made you want to separate with him after being with this man for 4 years? So I feel like it's something deeper than the quarantine. I think it was just the last straw for Miss Eboni K. I don't know if they're gonna go into her relationship situation on Real Housewives of New York. I would love to see it, but I guess we'll just see when the season starts. I do believe the season starts on next week, so we'll see how she's gonna merge in and connect with the ladies, and she's on Real Housewives of New York. But like I said, I would love to learn more about this relationship that she happened to talk about, that everybody is blasting everywhere, because she broke up with this man because he quarantined with his children and not with her. But y'all leave y'all thoughts and comments down below about the situation with Eboni K and her man, her ex-man, honey. And also let me know if you think I should review the Real Housewives of New York. I've never watched the franchise previously, but now that this black woman will be going on to the show and I'm familiar with her from seeing her talks on Breakfast Club and other things, it makes me be like, I'm gonna tune in. I don't know if I'm going to review, but I would love to hear you guys' thoughts on that down below. I'll go ahead and move on. Well, let's get into some Real Housewives of Potomac news. I know you guys are missing that show just as much as I am, because that franchise is that girl. Now, they did drop us a little snippet. It probably was like a 10-second, I don't even know if it was 10 seconds, honey, snippet where we got to see Gizelle and Karen go back and forth and arguing, talking about somebody got a hot box and somebody's man stuff at home ain't even working. Meanwhile, you got Wendy in the back asking somebody, do they want a titty, honey? I'm just trying to feed the kids. I'm trying to give y'all a breast, okay? Which one of y'all trying to be breastfed? Because that's all I'm trying to do in this moment, okay? Wendy sitting down asking Karen, who got a hot box? Oh, you talking about Gizelle hot box? Girl, it was, that little snippet was enough to let us know that this season is gonna be just as good as the last one, honey. So I am looking forward to it. But I did come across a tweet from the Peach Report Daily, and this is what they're saying about the season. They're saying that there is an unexpected conflict to take place this season. Then they go on to show us that Wendy Osofo and Gizelle Bryant are no longer following each other. So that leads me to believe that those two ladies are going to have some type of friction in the friendship. Okay, I know Gizelle was keeping it nice and cute because that was her sorority sister, as well as, you know, Wendy clearly comes to the table like, I'm not gonna play with y'all, y'all not gonna bully me. What's up, what's good? So I noticed that Gizelle kind of gave her a pass last season, but this season, obviously things are not flowing as good as Gizelle may have wanted them to. And it seems like Wendy and Karen may actually be on better terms now. I'm not sure, I'm just guessing all of this from that small snippet. And that's really what I think when I feel like what would make Gizelle and Wendy fall out, what could be one of the things. It could be when Wendy actually creates some type of relationship with Karen, and then starts to side with Karen on certain things. So I'm just looking forward to seeing the breakdown of those two ladies and what's gonna cause the friction between the two. I'm looking forward to that. But I will say this, Wendy made sure she took to her social media to let y'all know this. And that's how you clear a bitch, okay? Hashtag the professor has arrived. So, honey, I don't know how many girls, Wendy is going to be clearing this season, but I'm here for it and I'm looking forward to it. I know the season is gonna be good. Y'all leave y'all thoughts and comments down below. Okay, let's move on. Another Real Housewives of Potomac star, Ashley, took to social media to let you guys know that y'all need to stop spanking these children, okay? She says you're only practicing something that was done to you. She also goes on to say, stop spanking children. If you believe in the development of science for physical health, understanding the research about mental health, corporal punishment is unnecessarily traumatic. Break the cycle. Now, y'all know I cannot stand Ashley Darby, as I see her on Real Housewives of Potomac. I don't know this lady from Adam, from Eve. I only go off of what I see her on this show. And what she presents to me on the show, I can't stand Ashley. But I will say this. I agree with Ashley on this point when it comes to spanking children. I definitely got my butt towed down, okay? With whatever my mama could find. It was like wop, wop, wiggity, wop, wop. Okay, so I understand, you know, you gotta whoop your kids. I always told myself when I was younger, I got so many whoopings that I said when I get older, I'm not gonna whoop my child. I'm not gonna do that. I ain't gonna be like that, all that crying and stuff. You know, we say a lot of stuff when we get our butt whooping, we crying. Now, when my son was younger, he definitely got whooped if he did something. One thing he really got whooped for was lying to me. I do not like liars. His dad, I'll be honest, compulsive liar, and I was determined to not have my child be the same. And I'm like, okay, you're not gonna lie to me, okay? So, you know, he would really get his butt whooped for that. But as I got older and, you know, he was like in elementary school and we transitioned to, you know, relocating to Georgia, I don't whoop my child. I have conversations with my child. Yeah, that's just not something that I do. I'd rather have a conversation with you, sit down, explain to you what's happening, why it's happening, this, that, and the other, whatever. So I just try to actually have open communication with my child and conversations with my child instead of just whooping my child. And I feel like that actually builds us up to be even closer together, in my opinion. So I completely agree with this. You don't have to always, you know, spank your children, whoop your children. I feel like a lot of people do that because they are not good at communicating, and they're not good at communicating with their children. And some people just like, nah, some of these kids bad as hell and they just need their ass whooped. Yeah, that could be true. And some of these children are just needing attention. They need somebody to sit down to have a conversation with them. They may have some type of disorder going on with them mentally or something, and you're not willing to even deal with that or sit down and get an understanding of those children, that you choose violence, okay? When it comes to the kids, I'm just gonna whoop your butt. But those are just my thoughts. Like I said, you know, I grew out of that when my son was at a very young age, where he does not get whoopings, he gets conversations, he gets punishment, things like that. The things that he prided the most, those are the things that were taken away from him. And as he got older, we just continued to talk. And you know, I'm a mama that's good at making a face. Okay, I'm good at giving you the face. I'm the face mom. I'm the face. Yeah, I will give you that for you to just shut up in your bones and get your shit together, okay? So I'm good at doing that. So I feel like it don't take a lot to just always have to whop, whop, wiggity, whop, spank. You don't have to do that all the time. Some of these kids, I understand, you know, some of them really do need their ass whooped. But some of them, a lot of them really just need love, conversation, understanding. And from that, you may learn that, hey, my child may be ADD, ADHD, whatever it is. My child may have this or that going on. So I need to get them seen about or whatever, you know what I'm saying? So it could be a lot of different things, and I feel like sometimes conversations and just constantly being in the know of what's going on with your child can cut back on some of the spankings and some of the other trauma that they may go through, you know, because a lot of parents, they be so busy caught up in their life working and stuff that they don't really have time to take heed to what's going on with their kids. But those are just merely, you know, my thoughts. I would love to hear y'all thoughts about the situation. Let me know how y'all feeling about it. Did you get whoopings when you were younger? Are you a parent that whoops your kids and you don't give when nobody talk about because those are your kids? What are your thoughts about it? Because now a lot of people deem spanking children as abuse. So if you whoop that child, okay, and that child goes and tells a teacher or something like that, and then defects is at your door, honey, you know, you may want to be careful. But like I said, you know, y'all probably just don't know how to communicate. You may need to figure out that instead of just always whoop, 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 whoop. Okay, because you whooped them for doing this, and then next thing you know, they into that. All right, you whoop them. Don't you go in my don't you go in my purse. Wop wop. Next thing you know, they in your drawers, and it's like, okay, why you pull my drawer open? What you digging for in there? You know, so it's like just sit down, have a conversation with them. Sometimes a conversation can go a long way. Y'all let me know y'all thoughts about it, and I'm gonna go ahead and move on. Let's get into another Real Housewives of Potomac star, Candiace Dillard. So Jocelyn Hernandez went on to Wendy Williams' show where she got Wendy Williams together, telling her like, girl, you know, you're not respectful to Spanish and Black women. That is a problem for me. Give me my flowers. I had the #1 show in the world on Zeus, but in the world, girl. So, you know, I need you to respect me. I've grown a lot. So she started going in, you know, on Miss Wendy in the most respectful way, in my opinion, that she could have. Now, when it comes to Candiace decided to hop to her social media so that she can let the girls know that, #1, y'all shouldn't be crying about whatever the issue is about somebody not supporting you, somebody not, you know, agreeing with you or going along to get along when it comes to you. And she says that people need to stop expecting these journalists to really just have your back. She also goes on to say that Wendy has not been nice, but that's Wendy's job. You can't be mad at her job. That's what she does. She's going to talk about you. That's her come up. That's her claim to fame. She came from nothing. That's what Wendy does. And if you don't like it as a celebrity in your own right, then don't go and sit on her show. And I agreed with everything that Candice had to say. I agreed with that. If you don't like it, girl, you ain't gotta go or whatever. I also feel like there's nothing wrong to check a person respectfully. So I really saw nothing wrong with how Jocelyn handled Wendy. And I feel like as long as you do it in a respectful way, it ain't like she came on her show and started cussing her out or anything. And we all can see that Jocelyn can be much worse than what it is she was. So like I said, I agreed with what Candice said, but in addition, I see nothing wrong with checking a person respectfully. But the issues that I did have with Candice, or the irony that I found with Candice, is the fact that she said that nobody should be crying. Stop crying. And that's all we saw her do last season. She also goes on to say, stop expecting people to have your back. And it's like, but that's what you also required of Karen when it came down to the friendship and the issues that you had last season. So it's kind of like pot calling kettle, pot meet kettle, hey kettle, I'm pot type of situation. So basically from what you're saying, I should not expect you next season to expect anyone to have your back, and I should not see you cry at all next season because you've grown past that, right? Since you felt so compelled to offer your commentary to a particular situation, you being a celebrity that had absolutely nothing to do with you, you offered your commentary, your opinion on this situation. So that would let me believe that you've grown, right? With the things that you're saying in this video. So I would expect to not see any tears, and I would expect you to be able to stand on your own, whether anybody supports you or not. But those are my thoughts about everything dealing with the Jocelyn, Wendy, and Candice situation. I would love to hear you all's thoughts about that, as well as everything else that I mentioned in the quick chat today. I'm Jamie, that's me. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share my videos, follow me on Instagram as well as Twitter at Jamie, that's me, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.